Well, there you are, Jason.
Here I am, and here are you. There you
Hi,
are.
everyone. Yeah, welcome to Rosie Convoy Between Two Flags show. Today is a big day in New Zealand, and we're going to be part of the big rollout for their convoy, north meets south, right? You all know my
That's right.
co-host, Jason Bainbridge. He is from New
He's
Zealand,
on
but
today.
you're in Cambodia right now, right?
Yes, I am all the way in Cambodia at the moment, having a reasonably okay time. Certainly isn't Tokyo, that's for sure. Tokyo is really cool. Tokyo is really cool. So yeah, so that's I'm here calling live, coming at you from Cambodia, and we've got over here the lovely Rosie all the way from Canada. And you guys have got your convoys in action already, haven't you?
Yep. There's a convoy happening in Canada right now, east meets west. So it's appropriate that we join with New Zealand with the north meets south.
Yeah, the north meets south is the sort of the international concept and solidarity with the guys over there in Canada. And I heard that the US were going to do anything, but I haven't heard anything on the wire about the Americans out there. So the convoy itself, the official name in New Zealand is the Revolution Convoy. That's the official name for it in New Zealand. And they're going to get started. And I guess we better get into the schedule and all that. So I'll get these photographs open. And just so
Oh, you're cutting in and out, Jason.
Show page.
So while you're doing that, I'm just going to give a quick shout out. There's FTV Studios here already. Witeria Tauhai. I'm assuming it's a Maori name or a Kiwi name, so my pronunciation's always way off. Russell Haynes, thank you so much for being here. Harley Dad, thank you. It's good to see you. KK Gons. Yeah, it's really nice to be here, and it's nice to be joined by you guys. It's a nice day for a convoy, isn't it? Oh, Hard Place, Hong Kong. Yep, indeed. So I guess in New Zealand it's a daylight savings time.
What a day for a convoy it is.
We didn't take into consideration. Hang on, I'm going to adjust my. We didn't take into consideration what the daylight savings time. So when we're here going live, they're still waking up because it's still dark out apparently, or it was 20 minutes ago. So they'll be rolling out soon, and it just got to roll with the punches but no, it's very exciting. So the convoy in Canada, I guess there were two phases. So there's a whole bunch of people that are already in Ontario. But then from what I understand, there's a convoy that left Alberta, where I'm at, left this morning. So there's places they're going to stop along the way. The end location where they're headed to, they haven't disclosed it to anyone except like people that are just in their very immediate group, obviously, because there's a lot of trolls and a lot of people that are against the freedom movement that are just, they're it's basically we've become their full-time job. And so we're keeping everything on the down low here in Canada. So, but it's still exciting regardless. And I'm happy to be a part of it any way I can, even though I'm not physically in there. And of course, Jason, I know you've wanted to convoy for years now.
Yes, wouldn't that be nice? That would be lovely, wouldn't it? My little scooters. Indeed I do. Indeed I do. So here we have, this is the International Solidarity Facebook page, everybody. It's called North Meets South Convoy 2023. and I'll introduce you to that, to the Revolution Convoy real soon. But what we're going to take a look at now, first up, is we're just going to take a look at the maps that I've gone ahead and produced there.
Hey, Jason, your mic is cutting in and out, and you're really quiet. So I don't know if that's something you can do or kind of rectify on your end. But yeah, you're cutting it in and out. So it could be an internet connection. You said the internet isn't that great there in Cambodia.
All right, how's my connection now?
That's better, much better.
All right, very good. Okay, so here we are. Okay, here we are. Let's go through it. Today we'll be talking to folks from here. I can see my mouth. And they're rendezvousing around about nowish. They sort of got taken aback by the fact that it was going to be pitch black, and they were hoping to get the sunlight for the karakia and also the videos that's come on. So it's a lot of darkness there. So it won't take long before it starts to lighten up. So they're coming from Cape Reinga, and they're all the way down to Whangarei, and they're going to have a rest up there and have a bit of a munch there. Then they're heading off to Orewa for a quick pit stop, and I'll be spending the evening tonight in Pocono, lovely Pocono. And what will happen at the same time, roughly the same time, is the folks from Coromandel and Tauranga. They're going to sweep down from Coromandel, go past Whitianga, my old ancestral motherland, Whitianga. Whitianga, I should pronounce it properly. And then they're going to go down to Tauranga, and they'll be meeting up in Rotorua. Now, the Coromandel team, they're going to jump on with the Freedom Rights Convoy, Freedom Rights Coalition. They're going to be barreling down the middle of the country, and I'll be stopping off in Rotorua and Taupo. So here at Pocono, you can see group. We're going to branch off, and they're going straight down the barrel, past Taupo, past High Happy, down to Bulls. The Revolution Convoy will continue on through Pocono, down through a slow roll in Mount Messenger, and then stopping off at the racecourse. We're going to have a bit of rest stop there, and I'll be stopping off again in Whanganui at Springvale Park, and they'll all be rendezvousing around Bulls area. There's a small group coming from Martin, up that area as well. And then the Gisborne crew, they're going to come out, and they're going to come out and Gisborne down through Napier and Hastings, and then meet up with them. And you can see here the two diverging paths. The Human Rights Convoy will continue on through Bulls and go straight down via Levin, and the rest of the gang will go via Palmerston North, Coronation Road, and sweep in that way. And of course, down here you've got Woodville and Muston joining the show. So that's the plan. That's the plan, and that's for the northern area. And let's go and take a look at the southern area. Just going to move my camera again. Actually, I did. I can just do this. I can do that. It's so small now. Right, they're going to start off in Gore Street down there at Bluff. So we have to move my camera. Okay, they're going to start off down there at the bottom down there at Bluff and Gore Street. They're going to have their case, and we're talking to their team. They'll be leaving around about the same time as the top of North Island crew, around 6:30ish, coming up in about 15 minutes or so. But because of the daylight saving, that might extend a little bit more. Hopefully, as soon as the light gets out there, we'll be on the ground talking to people. They're going to pass through Incargill, and they're going to head via Gore to Balclutha and make a quick graphic. There's a little gas stop there in Clinton. Then up past Balclutha, and there's a rest stop there at Melton. And if you're on the convoy, jump in and grab something to eat. Then they're going to be in Dunedin. And from Dunedin, they're going all up to Palmerston, Orangeburg, and Christchurch. And from Christchurch, they're going up through Cheviot, Kaikoura. This is for the foreign audience that don't know how to pronounce Māori names. Kaikoura, Blenheim, and then Picton. And you can see there's a little grey map thing out of Greymouth up to Picton. And so they'll all be converging sort of on the last day, 26th, 27th, potentially the 28th in the morning. That's the plan. That's what happened last convoy.
Well, that's exciting. I'm really excited, and it's nice because
let's take a bit of the itinerary. You can find them. Yep, you can find them on the two Facebook pages, the North Meet South Convoy and the Revolution Convoy. We're not showing our map, so I didn't make my camera. Here because it just keeps getting away the screen. Okay, all right, very good. So North Island, there we go. So today's date, and they're about 6:30 a.m. Will potentially be 7 at this point because of the light. They want to roll out in the daylight, not in the darkness. Although it goes with the song, you know, you've got a great big convoy rolling through the night. That kind of works. They're going to be at Whangarei at 11 a.m. at Kensington Park. And they're going to be a break there, and then they're going to Orewa, with a rolling R if you're from abroad. Orewa at 2 p.m. and they'll be stopping off at the surf club there at Orewa for lunch. Then they'll be passing through Auckland, and there'll be sort of some updates come along because Auckland is always a challenging spot. Auckland's always a very challenging spot because you got to go through the main city there on the motorway. Then they'll be heading out to Pokeno, and they'll be staying there for the night, and they'll be having their break and fuel. And they're not staying there for the night. Okay, that's now changed. So they've gone. They will now be staying in Hamilton. All right, they arrived in Hamilton. So that's the end of that day. All right, very good. Okay, so that's the North Island. So they're actually staying in Hamilton this evening.
Okay, so quick question with the daylight savings time.
And we have the South Island timetable.
Hey, Jason, did they gain an hour or lose an hour? Like, did their clocks go ahead?
It's heading into summer, so you gain an hour in the evening and you lose.
Okay.
You gain an hour in the evening and you lose just what you've just been through. Exactly the same. You gain an hour in the evening and you lose an hour in the morning. Okay. So it's getting into New Zealand's. Well, it's not quite summer. It's more like it's autumn. But they set the daylight savings so the nights are longer and more balmy. Yeah, the nights are longer and more balmy. So let's just zoom in here because the font is a bit small on this one. So let's go through here, starting out at the South Island at Bluff on Gore Street in Christchurch. And they're pushing out around 6:30 a.m. Although, like I said, it'll probably be around 7 because of the light. And they're heading down to Invercargill, and they should be there by around 7. Well, this probably have to be pushed. Well, potentially this will have to be pushed an hour. But these are rough guesstimates now because of the light. So generally,
yeah, especially since with the late start.
On time. So let's go.
Yeah, when you get more
Yeah.
people joining and everything, it tends to slow everything down. So these are just ballpark, times. So like, don't hold us to it by any means.
Yes, these are absolutely, when you're in a convoy, these are absolutely ballpark numbers. Okay, so, and then you've got from Gore down to Clinton, so you got the time frame there. About Clufa, so you can see some quick, there's only 1 hour, then there's only 30 minutes and 30 minutes and 30 minutes. So, and then rolling down into Dunedin.
Nathan?
All right. So rolling into Dunedin around lunchtime-ish. Yes. Around Palmerston North. There is a Palmerston North up in New Zealand. Sorry, up in the North Island. There is a Palmerston North and there's a Palmerston. And this is, I don't know why they don't call it Palmerston South, but they just call the northern one Palmerston North. Yep, so there's 2 Palmerstons in New Zealand. And they're hitting it to... Go ahead.
No, I was just giggling because that's not confusing at all.
No, not confusing at all. And then we have Oamaru around 2 o'clock by the time, be lenient on the times. Timaru, 3:30-ish, 4 p.m., 4:30-ish. Ashburton, 4:30-ish, 5 o'clock-ish, and then arrive at p.m. What we found last year is that most people arrived around 7, so you can easily give an hour ahead. You can give an hour's grace for these schedules. And here are the TikTok Revolutionary, FB, TikTok, Telegram, Revolution Convoy 2023. And Instagram is Revolution-Convoy underscore Convoy underscore 2023. Twitter at Convoy underscore 2023. There.
Very cool.
Okay, so here we are.
So what map is this?
Okay. This is the North Island. This is the Hamilton to Levin. From Hamilton to Levin. Okay. Now this is going around the side of the country on the west.
East.
West side.
Because you showed us the map. I didn't see any anything happening on the west. The east is got it all. Has got it all work like drawn out with the map that you showed us.
Yeah, Levin is just out of Palmy. Yes.
Everybody who's watching.
On the
Thank you so much for joining us on this historic New Zealand Day for New Zealand and for Canada, because it is. I think it was HonkTube who said it's nice how Canadians inspired convoys across the world, and apparently we haven't stopped because it's
isn't it? Isn't it just?
So on the sidelines, thank you so much.
So cracking on into it. Yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. I see all the comments rolling in. I'll take a look at the comments in a minute. I've got to do this housekeeping and check the messages, and we'll have to because my phone is currently occupied by my lovely face.
Yeah, you've got the Zello app, and so you're
the quick stuff there.
Yeah, you're getting all the up-to-date everything that's happening through the Zello app. So while you're doing this and you're on the show, you're also like checking Zello and staying in tune. So like you're quite a multitasker, Jason.
Yeah, and I've got to do all the traffic checks as well next. All the roadworks and all that. Okay, so now Mount Messenger. Do you recall we did that show with I don't. There's a family, and they were being displaced, and they were putting a highway through. They were putting a highway through a bird sanctuary, and it was a beautiful piece of landscape up there, virgin territory, never been touched before, and yet it was only going to save them something like 5 minutes. They could have just detoured around the whole thing and spent an extra 5 minutes, but instead they've got to go in and they're going to destroy this beautiful forestry area for the sake of saving 5 minutes. And so that's Mount Messenger. So they're doing a slow roll through Mount Messenger, and they'll be tipping their hats to the folks out there at Mount Messenger there. So they'll probably be checking out the location, and a lot of people have been up there recently. So they're off to New Plymouth, where they will have their break at the race course. So around 1 o'clock-ish, 1:30-ish, they should be in Wanganui, and then I'll be in Bills around 3 o'clock-ish, 3:30-ish, and then they'll just kind of like meet up for a little bit, and then they'll be splitting apart again. And the Freedom Rights Coalition, they'll head straight around to Levin, and this crew will go via the other side. Okay, and they expect to arrive. They expect to arrive in Levin around 6 p.m., but probably safe to say probably around 7-ish. It depends. The folks at the front might be there at 6, but around 7-ish, like they did last year. And yeah, they're going to restock there. There'll be a hui for Thursday's proceedings, and again, there's the information down there. Okay, let's take a look if we've got any more. Right, the Kaikoura, Christchurch, Picton, Island, Kaikoura, Christchurch, Picton, for the 27th. The date, the 27th, which is today is currently Tuesday, so it'll be Wednesday. This is Wednesday's schedule. So they will depart Christchurch at 9 a.m. So they'll be staying overnight there in Christchurch. And they'll be leaving from this location, School Road. And they'll be landing in Cheviot around, I like the name, right? Cheviot, at 11 a.m. At Hall Street, State Highway 1. This SH1 means State Highway 1. And they'll be going past the world famous Kaikoura, the home of the whale watching. You see a lot of whales out there because there's a deep gully where they actually practice diving out there, a big trench out there where the whale mothers come along and they teach their kids how to dive. So there's a lot of whales.
That's really cool.
Bitcoin whales. Yeah.
One of many places in New Zealand.
I don't know if I went to Kaikoura. It was quite a long time ago. Yes, yeah. You just be careful about what kind of plane you take. We took a pretty shoddy one when we went up there, and it kind of stunk of gasoline, and I kind of felt sick. and normally I'm okay with it. Helicopter might be more fun, like we did in the Tasman area. Okay, so Fox Glacier area, I should say, Fox Glacier. So they'll be heading down to Blenheim.
So it's like two days of driving, right? With a stop for the night.
They'll be landing some crew.
That's the nice thing.
Well, technically
they're definitely lucky. It takes like 2 days to drive, from the. Whereas the North Island, they're doing a stop overnight too. Both islands are doing a stop overnight, right?
Yeah, they're very similar distances, both. It's just that the South Island is very mountainous. It's very mountainous, so there's not a lot of central driving going on. Most of the people head out to the west coast for like the Fox Glacier and all that, and Queenstown, and it's a big sightseeing tourist area out there. So most of the commerce takes place on the eastern side of the country, on the North Island. So they will meet up there at Picton, and they're going to have their dinner. There'll be some bathrooms and amenities and the ferries there and accommodation. So now there's an update, which I'll hit in just a moment. I'll have to update this a second time.
Don't forget to hit the like button, folks.
But there's just okay. Here is the Tauranga to Levin team. Actually, they're coming out of Coromandel, and so the folks from Coromandel will be connecting with Tauranga to Levin. Okay, so there's still another team to come down and meet them in Tauranga next to Coromandel team. And I'm actually not sure. I'll have to update you guys a bit later on about the Coromandel team doing. But let's go with the Tauranga to Levin timetable. It's going to happen on the 27th. Okay, so this is Wednesday. So if they're rolling at 8:30 a.m., I expect the Coromandel will probably mosey on over there. Leave early, very early from Coromandel, or come over the night before. But I expect that they'll just come over in the morning. It's not that far from Tauranga to Coromandel. They could probably do it in a decent amount of time if they get up and meet the birds, and then do some dark driving, some early morning blackness driving. So if they do that, they could get. So they'll be rolling. The second day is usually it's more time usually in the second day. It's the first day the timings get a bit rough because it's the second day everyone's a bit more organized. And there's a big connect there on Phantom Street. So if you want to fill up, they'll be at the 2-mile boat ramp, and they'll be taking their break and getting their food and fuel. And they'll be barreling through Wairau now. For folks who don't know what Wairau is, it's the army base. It's the North Island Army base. So they'll be going through that area, and it's also known as a desert road. It's pretty dry. It's pretty bleak in that desert road. Yeah. If you forget to fill up your gas, then you might get into a spot of bother on the Wairau Desert Road area. So make sure before you get on the desert road you fill your cup of gas at the gas station there. There's one right there just as it starts. So get filled up. Yeah, get filled up. I got caught once, but luckily it was only like 2 meters, but the power steering froze up, and I just kind of coaxed it into the gas station. So yeah, it does happen. It does happen. Okay, down in Palmerston North at 2:30, and I'll be.
So fill a jerry can if you
Go
can.
ahead.
Oh, I just said, like, if you got a jerry can, or make sure if somebody in the group who's watching and they have a jerry can, just in case somebody doesn't fill up where they should. It's always good to be prepared, right?
Yeah.
So these itineraries, they're available.
They call it a. Yeah.
They're available on the Facebook page.
Kiwis call it a guest can. Yeah, that's right. They're all available on the Facebook pages.
So if you can't actually join the convoy, but you want to get out there and cheer everybody on, this itinerary is for you too. And you can find it on the North Meets South Revolution Convoy Facebook page. So you can just take a look if you want to get out there with your flags and your signs and cheer the convoy on as they go by.
2 of them.
And, take a look but don't quote us on the times because things will slow down as people join in. So
yes, that's right.
oh yeah, make sure and share it out. Like let your Kiwi friends know. I've already let a few people know that I know in New Zealand. So, but it's good that we know here in Canada, and whoever's watching, I know there's a few people in the chat who are from the States. So nice to have you here joining us. And yeah, so this is happening today. Any moment now, they'll be hitting the road. So, hopefully. So how many people are you thinking will be joining this? It's obviously probably not as gonna be as big as the one to end the mandates. But the end goal is Wellington, right?
I'm not really sure. The feedback's been really good. The feedback's been great. And the other interesting thing is that they're also converging with Groundswell, the farmers' tractors convoy as well.
Oh, really? Groundswell in
is that happening as well? So yeah,
okay.
yeah, they're going. They're following the same trajectory. They're going from the bottom of the South Island. Let me head back to the maps. So I just want to finish up this last itinerary because people will watch this at a later stage. They'll watch the live stream. So I'm just going to finish this last itinerary. This is the last one here. So the North Island, going from Gisborne to Levin. Okay, so this is the last itinerary. And this is on the 27th. So they will get to Gisborne at 8. No, they're leaving at Gisborne at 8 o'clock in the morning. They'll head to Napier around 11, and they'll get to Anderson Park, where they'll have their food break. Then they'll be off to Dannevirke War Memorial for a break and a fuel break, and then they'll be down at Coronation Park in Palm, where they're going to connect with the Western 10. So this is where they're all just going to connect together, and then they're going to split off, and they're going to head down to Levin, and that's where they'll do their pit stop. Hui is a meeting, and for those of you from the international world, a hui is a meeting. And sometimes we say too much hui and not enough dui.
Right.
Here you go. So that's what's going on. I believe that is the last schedule. I believe that's the last one. North Island. Okay, so there's one more. South Paihia tour.
Oh wow.
That's a smaller group. So this is coming from Masterton. They're coming from. So they're leaving from. This is a smaller group. Okay, this is on the other side. Okay, this is the Paihia tour group. And 8 o'clock, up, and then Wellington Central. 28th of September, North Island team. Okay, this is the North Island team, sorry. This is the 28th of September. So this is actually Thursday now. This is Thursday morning. Okay, and then they'll be in Wellington Central, and 10 a.m. there'll be a big gathering at the Tenako Civic Square. If you can say that. Can you say that, Rosie? Tenako.
Tanako.
No, you don't want to say it. You don't want to speak Māori today? Tenako. Oh, we can say Tenakwe.
Oh man, when I first joined in on
Tenako Civic Square, and
I really struggled. Like even Dunedin, I was pronouncing it Dunedin. And now I know it's Dunedin. So, yeah,
Dunedin.
Dunedin.
Yep. And then they'll be on the road marching Parliament, and that's it. Everybody's converged now at this point. The folks that stopped off at Victon on the North Island. Okay, so we're back to the beginning now. So this is it. We spent a good 30 minutes on it.
Hey, on the sidelines, do you mean the march to Parliament in New Zealand or Canada?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because as far as I know, there will be people doing live streams. We'll be doing what we can to promote their live streams and sharing it, especially on this Facebook group. So if you want to join the Facebook group, then you'll be kept up to date with everything that's happening. Yeah, there'll definitely be people streaming when they get to Wellington and they head back over to the Beehive. Are they headed to the Beehive? That's what they call their Parliament building because it's shaped like a big beehive, and there's just a.
Yes.
Oh, is
Yes,
Zeb
they're
Jackson?
definitely heading to the Beehive.
Zeb Jackson, yeah. I haven't heard from her in a while, but she's yeah. So
I'm not sure what she's up to, but I think that she's doing some work on her property in the middle of some kind of construction or something like that. Not sure. So Nia, not really sure. But obviously, people on the convoy will be dropping videos and all that kind of stuff to their personal accounts, and also they'll be dropping videos to the Facebook groups as well. So here we go. The weather disruption.
Oh, here we go already, eh?
The weather disruption has cancelled the ferries. Da, 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 da.
Oh,
What a coincidence.
So deja vu. Yeah,
deja vu all over again.
Yeah. A year and a half. Well, in February, when you guys started your convoy in 2022, there was weren't the ferries going getting maintenance done to them just in time?
Yes, and yes, just in time. It's always just in time for that lot. So obviously, but anyway, 26th and the 27th, they'll be on the road anyway. They'll be on the road anyway. So that's so they're going to kind of skip it. So I don't think a lot of people actually realize what the plans were because we've only just sort of dropped them now. So, but I don't know if that says only 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. The actual event in Wellington is on Thursday, the 28th. So that's the actual event. So I guess that won't really disrupt them that much, but it's just cheeky. It's just cheeky.
Yeah. So for those of you who weren't part of the or watching the New Zealand Convoy in 2022, one of the craziest things I found is like New Zealand is a very small country. Like it's small, but they were so strict when it came to anybody who wanted to ferry across to Wellington from the South Island. They had to be fully vaccinated. So that's why the whole protest ended up split in two. There was the crowd that went to Wellington and set up the Freedom Village, but then there was also a Freedom Village in Picton at the north part of the South Island. So even though it's a tiny country, they couldn't even go from the North Island to the South Island. So like in Canada, it'd be like we can't, go into the next province unless we were fully vaccinated, which blew my mind because it's a small country, but that's how strict their lockdowns were in New Zealand. All right, so what are we looking at? Oh, Groundswell are actually, I'm glad that Groundswell are a part of it this time.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Actually, it was a surprise move from Groundswell.
Yeah, because they kind of stayed out of it.
Basically, kind of doing what happened is yesterday they were here in Cheviot. So they already landed in Cheviot here, and they're in tractors. So I guess I could probably show some videos of that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
A couple of videos there.
For those of you,
so
sorry, I'm just going to jump in here too. Zeb Jackson Live is on YouTube, and she's also on Facebook, so you can follow Zeb Jackson Live. She's a wonderful, incredibly awesome person, and I adore her. She's so much fun. She travels New Zealand. She's got a giant bus that she's converted into a home, And she's painted the outside a bright orange, and it's got some really cool graffiti art plastered on the side. And I think she's got one dog and one cat that travel with her. But she was part of the 2022 convoy. She was in Wellington, and she's been on our show a couple of times now, right?
So yeah, she has been on a couple of times actually. Yes, that is correct.
Zeb Jackson Live on YouTube.
What the heck is that ugly mug?
She was in Hawke's Bay when after the cyclone hit. She was there for weeks helping it to clear out the mud and everything. So yeah, she worked diligently for weeks because the cyclone, it took out I think it was 80% of the food supply in New Zealand, and a lot of people lost their homes and their farms. There was it was devastating. You know, all the sheep, all the livestock and everything. So yeah, no, Zeb Jackson is awesome. Highly recommend Zeb Jackson Live. Follow her on YouTube and on Facebook. Hey, way up, dude. It's good to see you here. Okay, so you have a video lined up? Is it that Willie Nelson one?
I love that. I haven't finished talking about Cheviot yet. So Groundswell, last night they were here at Cheviot, so they because they're in tractors, I expect that they're all going to kind of they will be heading on, and Groundswell are doing, once they get to the North Island, they're doing the opposite. If they go to the middle, Groundswell are not going to stop at Wellington. They're going to carry on, which is right here. I haven't put it on the map, but Auckland City is right here where my mouse is. So they'll be doing a stand up there in Auckland. So, but because they're on tractors, it's going to take them a lot longer than possibly a normal convoy because of the restrictions of their travel. So let me just cut this out, and you can answer some questions, and I'll want to do some work in the background for just a sec. How's that? Good deal? Good deal.
Sounds good.
Oh, that was the wrong one. That one. There you are.
I'm just going to reply to some of these comments here. Because our show, like, we will give like shout outs and everything, but there's just so much going on. So I like to put it in the comments here. Then, yep, I will. Okay, so yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, everybody, if you can. It helps. So yeah, it's actually chilly this morning. I usually have like, I'm dressed more nice, but I got my hoodie on. I got my rosy convoy hoodie. I love it. Yeah. So, Jason, where did you go? Oh, you're just in the background? Why am I full screen? I don't want to be full screen. There we go. There you are. So you're just trying to find a video right now? I keep getting notifications too through Signal that they're just about to hit the road right now. So I don't know if you're watching what's happening, but yeah, it's so nice. Like I'll get the little notification at the top. It's like, okay, we're getting ready. We're going to be on the road here in a couple of minutes. And it's like, are you frozen, Jason? Nope, I saw you move. Never mind. Oh, okay, so it's just me. That's okay. So on the sidelines, yeah, no, it's great. Oh, Wanda E, yeah, thank you. Everybody who hits the like button, it helps. And when we finish the live stream, of course, go into the comments, like actually make a comment at the end, because we all know how Bill C-11 has affected us YouTubers here in Canada. It's if it doesn't like create a stir right away, then it just gets swallowed up by the YouTube algorithms, and then nobody gets to see it because, that's the way it goes here in Canada now. So Yeah, everything helps. And is it Ren Zenith? Yeah, and I appreciate you hitting the like button. Thank you so much. And Way Up Dude, of course, you're one of my favorites. You're always, make me smile. And Brian with Canada, you need to know, I'm really glad that you're here right now. You've got a really fantastic show too, and I like watching you when I can. So hang on. Jason, if you're back there. All right. So at any time now, they'll be hitting the road. And I'm not too sure what the plan is. I think we're just going to go live for a bit, just for the big the rollout, and then we'll be going live again later on in quite a few hours. Probably earlier this evening, we'll be going live again. I'll be doing the show again, unless Jason wants to do it on his State of the Nation show. That's he's got a YouTube channel too, so feel free to just subscribe. Okay. Tapatios Copwatch. Oh, thank you. And thank you, Tommy Temper, for sending. Copwatcher of the Arizona, USA. Welcome, Arizona. Good to have you here. So, if anybody can go to state, I don't know if any of you guys are mods. Darn. That's something that, I know I've got a few moderators, but not nearly enough. So, if any of you mod the wrench, then if you want to go to State of the Nation and maybe drop that link, that would be appreciated too. So here we are, another big day. 2 convoys going on right now, one in Canada, one in New Zealand, and it's nice. Like, it's bringing people together, raising awareness, and then of course, making the politicians a little bit more. Well, they have no reason to be nervous, but I know it makes them uncomfortable when people unite. Because, yeah. Okay. All right, Brian, once you have that information from Australia, it would be nice to, if you're going to do a show on it, I'll share it out. Okay, so I'm not muted, am I? Can you guys hear me? Wanda E says muted. Can you hear me? If okay, all right. Yeah, I find that if I keep my volume at the halfway mark, then I don't cut in and out as much. I don't know where oh, there he is. I'm gonna add you to the stream. Is that okay, Jason? Just cause otherwise it's just my face, and then it's a little bit overwhelming. But as long as you're here, then I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Although I am just talking to the chat.
No problem. I'll just try to get this
you remember
screen.
when the truck drivers were protesting in Canada? Yeah, that was hey Jason, are you able to drop the link for your State of the Nation channel when you got a second? I know you're probably pretty busy right now.
Yep. Yeah, well, I'm just a little bit busy. I'm just trying to tee these videos up. I can do that a little bit later.
Your volume is
YouTube,
down.
just ended New Zealand State of the Nation.
You, Jason, your volume is way down. If I'm going to drop his link, I've got to leave the stream for a couple of seconds, and I can do that, but then Jason has to hold the fort, and I think he's trying to multitask right now. So I'm not going to just leave him. That's true. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do that. Jason, I will be right. I'll wait until you start this video, and then I'm going to go and drop the link or make Brian a moderator. Okay. Jason. All right. So once you start that, okay, I'll see what I can do. I'll find it. I'm sub to him, so I'll just go straight into my subscriptions and I'll drop the link, but then I'll make Brian. I'll make you a moderator. So whenever you start this video, Jason, I'll pop out of the panel and I'll go quickly take care of those few things.
Jamming the internet.
Hopefully it's a couple of minutes long and I've got time. Otherwise it's just empty silence. Oh, here we go. Is it gonna work? Oh, you did need to be back up. I understood you did to take the ferry. Maybe I had it wrong all these years. Well, last year and almost 2 years. Oh, shoot. Okay, hang on. Yeah, there's I haven't been able to figure out yet how to unroll again. I think I had like I gotta figure that out here. So we go down the highway. We're the best of friends. It's just that the world keeps turning our way. And our way. It's really quiet. Can you adjust the volume? And yeah, YouTube, we don't own the rights to this song, but you know what? On the road again. Like the band to go down the highway. Said I'll keep turning away. On the way to get on the road. I can't wait to get on the road again. Yeah, it's too bad it's cutting in and out. Right. I don't think it's working that well, Jason. It's very choppy.
There.
On the road again, like a band of monkeys, we go down.
Okay, so yeah, hello, Rosie. Are you back there yet? All right. Okay, so that was the beginning of. Go back to.
You can find the video without all the choppiness on that Facebook page. In fact, Jason dropped it everywhere. I've probably watched it at least 15 times. As you shared it. Of course, that's what you do. You share it to all the groups. So yeah, it was hard to watch, but yeah, if you want to see the whole thing, it's pretty awesome seeing all the tractors. Okay, so So yeah, it looks like they're grabbing.
Okay, how am I coming through? Am I clearly?
A little bit choppy, but better than a few minutes ago. So I dropped the link to your YouTube channel.
Taking a look at my.
And then I made Brian. I made you a
Awesomeness.
moderator, one of the managing moderators. So you got a lot of power there, Brian. So I just saw a little chat come up, and they're grabbing coffees. So yeah, they got a really slow start. What time is it in New Zealand right now? It's hard to tell.
They're 30 minutes behind at the moment. They're 30 minutes behind. It's 7 a.m. right now. So, page.
Hey, Death Row, if you rewind our video, if you rewind this live stream, Jason went through the whole itinerary. So they're starting at the very south part of the South Island, and then the north part of the North Island, and they're slowly making their way with a stop overnight. So yeah, if you rewind, or if there's a Facebook page where you can see all the itinerary, and yeah, it's you know, give or take on the times, because you know they had a slow start. It was daylight savings time in New Zealand, so which they didn't. They kind of forgot. So we're trying to adjust the times right now, but honestly, I wish I could pronounce the names of. Yeah, okay. So this is the Facebook page, and so you can see the full itinerary from the North Island down to Wellington, as well as the South Island up to Picton. So yeah, so if you want to go check that out. Otherwise, you can always go back and rewatch like the first half hour or so of the live stream that we're like just like this live stream right now. If you just go back a bit, then you'll be able to see, because Jason laid it out very clearly. Oh, so we got some pictures here already. Oh yeah, now that is nice to see. Look at that, eh? And it's true, yeah, save the refinery. So those of you who are watching that don't know, the Marsden Point oil refinery was shut down in April of last year. And it's the only, is it the only oil refinery in New Zealand? And now they're having to import all their oil, and it's really substandard. So like they basically shut down something that was making things a lot easier for New Zealand, keeping the cost of everything down. And of course, like is it bitumen? Carl Barkley talks about bitumen a lot, the stuff that they make the roads out of. So now because they don't have the refinery anymore at Marsden Point, they're all the stuff that they have to make, like the bitumen to like fix the roads. It's so substandard. It's so, you know, not very good quality. So a lot of the roads are just disintegrating. A lot of potholes. A lot of parts of New Zealand on the road. Okay, so there you go, Death Row. You got quick shots there of the itinerary. We're just gonna kind of show you quickly, because Jason went into full detail with every single stop at the beginning of the show here. So we'll just show you, this is what you want to look for when you go to that Facebook page. So yeah, very exciting stuff. We're still waiting for the actual convoy to roll out. I guess we could have pushed the show, you know, down an hour so that we'd be catching them on the road right now. But yeah, New Zealand is beautiful. I've always wanted to go there on the sidelines. I've never been, but by now it's really cool. I've made good friends there through the Freedom family, and I've been told that when I get to New Zealand, not if, but when I get to New Zealand, there's a few places that they said they'd be so happy to have me stay there. So it's absolutely wonderful. I'll always be grateful to the freedom movement. Oh man.
I'm having a little bit of fun.
There we go. Yeah, you guys, the Kiwis, they flew their flag upside down a lot more than we did here in Canada. Yeah, really good people there on the sidelines. Yeah, their ingenuity and their tenacity is inspiring to me. Oh, is that the Zello channel? Nice. Okay.
Yeah, the thing with the Zello channel is that it looks like it's actually owned by, well, it used to be free. Now it looks like you have to pay to use it. So I'm not sure if new users can actually get on.
There's a Daniel in the backstage. I know a Daniel in New Zealand. So is that, because I don't know if you shared, because I shared it on our Signal chat. Jason?
Is it Daniel Rurik? Well, we'll see in a minute. We can't see his face.
Can't see your face?
Do you
want to just quickly turn your camera
on?
Yeah, just turn your camera on for a quick second, and then, if you want to just use the avatar, that's cool. But I don't want to just let anybody up. Not that I don't trust you, Daniel, if it's really you, but if you want to just turn your camera on just for us so that I can see if it's you, and then I'll let you up on the panel. Or what do you think, Jason? Just let him up?
Is he talking?
Hasn't. Oh, no, never mind.
Oh, he's probably having some trouble.
Hi, Nigel. Okay. Apparently the reception is really bad where they're at. I just got a message from Gabriel. Oh, here we go. There he is. Okay. I'm ready to let you up there, Daniel. Daniel, nice to see you. Welcome.
Hi there. Just checking in.
Hello, Mr. Daniel. How are you, sir?
Good. Can you all hear me okay?
Maybe see if you can adjust your volume. Turn it up a little bit. You can turn it up. Yeah.
Let's see what I can do.
And you can give us a little bit more feedback, because we've been live for an hour now, and I'm just like getting small notifications there. So how's your volume now, Daniel? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've been actually watching you guys. I was just dealing with a little technical issue there. Trying some things. Yeah. It's a bit of fun. It turns out that on my setup here, sort of if I have a YouTube video playing, that would actually link back through into the audio into StreamYard. So yeah, I had to close down the YouTube before joining up with you guys. So I've just seen that Gabriel was reporting that they have really poor reception up there in Cape Reinga. So not sure whether we'll actually get a live feed of the karakia and start of the convoy. We shall see whether she manages to get through. Have we got any?
I think last year, Daniel. I think. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. We're just Daniel, I think last year, I don't remember it being live. I think it was shared on a video later, actually.
Yeah, quite possibly. It's by the sounds of it, pretty poor reception right up there at the top. I don't know if they're faring much better down at Bluff either. Who have we got down at Bluff that's going to be doing live streaming?
Hey, Daniel, is your volume turned up?
Yes, indeed.
Is your volume turned up all the way on your, if you press the three little dots there, it's cranked all the way? Okay. Because there's a comment here that they can't hear you very well. It could be the Kiwi accent too. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Probably is the Kiwi accent. That's probably what it is actually. Let me see if I can hail Bluff.
Yeah. How's that?
All our team leaders in Bluff. No real change. No real change. Okay. All right. So, Daniel, where are you now? You've got some interesting things. So, you have good advice for people who are on these types of convoys, because you were kind of in one in Wellington earlier this year, and you had a conversation with a police officer, a police officer. So you seem to know how to deal with people. So you have some pretty interesting information on what happens to a person on a convoy and they get stopped by a police officer. What happens there usually?
Well, in my case, I ended up with having a very interesting conversation. I had all my children in the van with me. And that was probably the most challenging part. I had my then 14, 15-year-old daughter sitting beside me, absolutely freaking out. Especially when the officer 4 times threatened to arrest me, because he wasn't getting the information that he thought that he needed from me. But the first thing is, and the most important thing is is keep your cool. There's no point, no point getting arrested. There's no point, getting angry. That just exaggerates the situation and increases the likelihood of actually being arrested. And I have a couple of friends that have recently been arrested by police because they are refusing to give information, and part of it too, I think, is that we need to actually maybe role play a little bit more, sort of how we're going to respond to these situations. I actually put together a bit of a script of how to respond to particular questions the other night, which is going to be shared around people on the convoy. And it's actually part of a something that may be used by a natural law group that I'm involved with as well. Just to instruct, to help our people to be able to, correctly, respond.
I did actually read it. I did read it, actually. I did actually read it. It's on my phone, but I did actually read it. I turned it around and widened it, the landscape, and actually read through it. So it's pretty interesting person. So the first thing, what happens is, number one, stay calm, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Stay calm. And if at any point you feel threatened, that you're either going to be arrested or they're going to be physically violent with you, then the best thing to do is to comply. But comply. Second thing, record it. Always record it. Get your phone out and press that record button. If you can get onto a live stream that will record as well, then do that. Make sure you record it. If you've got other people in the vehicle, get them to record as well. The more recordings that you have, the better. And often officers will respond a little bit differently if they are being recorded. In my case, I didn't, but I had a number of people on the outside that were right in the face of the officers with their cameras and stuff. Trying to capture that, which was useful. I managed to, in my case, get I think 3 or 4. I got hold of a couple of recordings of covering most of the conversation with the officer, and again, sort of, that was my first time. It's the first interaction I've had with a police officer, and probably more than sort of just a random roadside breath test or sort of warrant a fitness check. Sort of in quite some time. So and the first one where there was actually in their eyes something that I had to answer for. I had of course was tailing Charlie on our little convoy into Wellington at that stage, and my response was that I was the last one going through a red light, and that seemed to, apparently the red light got offended or something.
The red light got offended.
Well,
I think the officer of the law got offended.
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with them.
Didn't the Prime Minister, the new one, Chris Hipkins, didn't he just come out and give special powers to police officers if they because like convoys, like how did that all turn out?
Well, that was again sort of a play, really. What they did was they were actually announcing sort of a future piece of legislation that they would pass if they got into government. And it's quite likely that that piece of legislation or something like it will be picked up by the National Party. So there's no way that we're going to avoid it. But again, we're living in a situation where their whole jurisdiction is in question. In reality, sort of as soon as there's a draconian measures to and same with the there's actually gang legislation, and sort of from what I gather there are also gangs that are going to be convoying down to Wellington over the next few days to join us for the push to cancel Agenda 2030 in New Zealand. Because legislation has been passed for gangs, that can be subverted and used against anybody, any kind of gathering at all. They just call it a gang.
It's really stupid.
They call it a gang. And
it's very stupid.
It's all about them being scared about groups creating a collective movement that will dethrone this current, it's a occupying force on our land. You see, there's this interesting little piece written in the legislation that states the territories of New Zealand include the Ross Dependency. Now, the Ross Dependency is down there.
Yes.
Yeah, but inclusio un est exclusio ulterior is a maximum law that applies with legislation. To all legislation. So wherever they define a term, so if they're saying the territories of New Zealand, they are not defining it as it's the territories of New Zealand, and they're redefining the territories of New Zealand to only include the Ross Dependency. So they actually govern a lump of ice sort of around the South Pole, not these lands. well, that's their territories. So they're actually an occupying force on our land. So yeah, and it's a bit of a thing, and we have this all this use of the word includes all throughout this legislation wherever they're wanting to redefine a term, which in a way that sounds like it's something plus something else to be sort of just something else. So whatever term they're defining.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So birth-based marriages and relationships.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got Mark.
Mark has joined us.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Mark. How are you going down there, buddy? You're down there on the bluff.
Yeah, at the cold bluff, right at the bottom of the entire world. So we began at the bottom this morning. Bluff, I think there's about 7 people, a population of 7 people. Actually, a little bit more. I'm just joking, but it is a very small place. So bluff right on the bottom there. Very chilly. We started in the dark. And we've got, there are 4 vehicles, which is pretty good for bluff, to be honest. So we've just arrived in Invercargill now, and we're going to launch getaway here in about 10 minutes. And that's Invercargill is, I guess, the main city in the Southland area. So yeah, still very chilly, but we're on the road. It's going good. So we met with the police in a mufti car to start with in the dark, which is a little bit dodgy. They weren't totally transparent with everything, but I suppose just putting their nose in. But yeah, no, all is well. We're going, and the main thing, we're just, as long as we're sticking together. We had some comms from previously. The police were trying to separate people and divide us up, even just single them off, get people one by one so that they could issue tickets, and some of it was just intimidation, threats and things. But we're finding as long as we stick together, they sort of like leave us alone a lot more. So, but very exciting. We're on the road. So the south is moving, and like us, we'll be probably in another 6 or 7 minutes. We'll be leaving here, and then heading north to Gore. Gore is our next stop.
All right, excellent. And you're driving your truck today?
Yes, I've got the truck here. Hold on, let's see if I can turn it around.
Yes, let's see that.
Turn that camera around. Let's see what he's seeing.
Turn that. Yes.
There you go. There he is.
Just waiting on the
sorry about that.
Camera turn around. There we are.
And Daniel, you're still backstage for now. Is that okay? I hope it's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Nigel, if you can even just physically turn your camera around without swapping cameras. You can just. Is that your truck?
That's our truck. So begins the convoy with a Mack truck lit up. So stopping Agenda 2030. There's so many things involved with that. Here's one of our signs: leave our kids alone. The convoy of courage. The children are probably one of the most vulnerable at the moment, with a lot of the stuff that's happening with the sexualization of our children in schools. So it's a fairly long truck.
It's beautiful.
Convoy of courage. And then, so there's different people are here for different reasons and motivations, but at the end of the day, we're all going to the same place. And with the same thing, if there's so many things attached to that Agenda 2030, and that really is the main point of our rolling up together, ending up in the same place in the Wellington. So there's a few more people still to arrive, but we do want to keep to the time frames because it is going to be a fairly big day for us here. We're looking at possibly up to about a 14-hour day, which of course we need to keep our logbooks clean and everything. So This is probably the biggest day out of all of them for us as far as being on the road. Yeah, so there we have it.
That was awesome. Leave it to Beaver, I tell you. Let me get Daniel Rourke back here. Bring him back on. There we are. There's the four of us there. So very cool. So there's right down there at the bluff. So this is Mark. He's, for those of you who are international, he is in the South Island of New Zealand, right at the very bottom. It's called the Bluff, and if you saw the maps at the beginning, then you'll see that they've got to make their way up the east coast. They've got to they're at the east coast. And tonight, where are you planning to spend the evening?
So we're going to be heading ultimately to Christchurch is the stop for tonight. And we have got accommodation on Catchell Street, but before we do that, we're going to be escorted in by some freedom fighters in Christchurch that are going to take us through a little bit of a loop of the city, and we're going to end up in Cranmer Square. So we're hoping to be there around 6:30 tonight, all going well, and we're going to end up in Cranmer Square. That's where we just have a gathering, bit of a debrief and a little bit of a celebration as well involved with that before we disperse from there to our various accommodation sites. So for those who are needing accommodation or just a bed, it's a fairly simple place. If those who are just wanting to sort of backpacker style it, that's going to be on Catchell Street. So we've got accommodation sorted for those who are needing it. But hey, listen, like, even if you're just jumping on the convoy for half an hour, whatever, I mean, there's a whole lot of different stops along this route that we're going on today. Probably about at least every half an hour or an hour or so, we have places where we can literally stop or meet the supporters. So even if it's just for that, a half an hour, jump on board, do whatever you can and show your support. Yeah, it'd be great to see you. But I'm literally about to roll out in about another 4 minutes, and I haven't actually got a co-pilot with me today, so I can't do both things at the same time. So
okay, but before you go, okay, so just 1 second here. We have a very special guest in here right now. Eric Miller here. He is one of the Titans of Ottawa. He held the line at our parliament with his big giant truck. He's from Germany. And he's a Canadian citizen now, but he's here to give our blessing, I think. So
fantastic. Hi, Eric.
So this is exciting. Okay.
Excellent.
Mark,
all right. So Bluff is going to get the show on the road. All right. Very good. Now, Mark, is Pamela with you today?
Yes, she is. Hold on. I'll just go over and grab her.
Yeah. Could you possibly get her to come on the line?
Hi there.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Pamela.
Hi.
Hey, you guys all set to go?
Yes, we're all set to go. It's a wonderful morning. It was a red moon when I woke up.
Awesome.
Right now.
So good to see you guys. How's it going?
A red moon.
It was a red moon.
We're going good. We're going good. Yeah.
cheering from Canada.
Is that common?
I don't know. I'm not. Normally it looks a more white sort of color, the moon, in my opinion, but it looked red this morning as it was going down over the horizon and disappearing.
Awesome. Now, actually, Rosie, you don't know Pamela yet, do you?
No.
Hi.
No, right. Okay. I actually, I did interview Pamela for State of the Nation when she was running for local council there, and so was Mr. Rurik down here in the other box. He was also running for local council. So hopefully they have another crack next year. Don't give up the first year. Have another crack the next year. Keep cracking at it until that egg is cracked.
Currently, I'm running for MP of the Dunedin electorate. So I'm campaigning at the moment.
Hey, I didn't know that. Great stuff.
Yeah, so I'm from
Awesome.
Dunedin, and they ended up taking me off.
Awesome. And it's
Yeah. Off you.
This year they decided to grab me from my house and drag me off to Waikari psychiatric ward and said I was having a mental health emergency. I had no idea what that was about. I'd just been speaking about how the jab was dangerous on social media platforms. So, yeah, there's
so they say
unusual.
everybody's dangerous. They say everybody who doesn't like the jab is dangerous.
Yes. So we're just at the Queen's
Now
Garden.
there was actually. Go ahead.
Oh, we're just in the cargo at Queen's Park at the moment, at the gates here. It's a really pretty spot with some lovely fountains in the background and some blossom trees and gardens, so it's very nice here.
Yeah, but the track is
There you go, everybody.
So you put on top of that tree. There's no way people track.
Yes, give us a sweep. There you go. All right, beautiful. All right, so bluff on the move. So you guys are ready to roll out, or are you going to be waiting, or are you moving now?
We're gonna get rolling very soon. At about 7:30, so we're gonna get rolling pretty much about now. That's all good.
Now, all right.
Thank
perfect.
you.
Honk,
All right.
honk, 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 honk.
Cool. All right, we're hitting the road from Invercargill. So we're on our way to Gore now. And Gore is probably, it's not that far away. Probably we're looking about 40 to 45 minutes. And it's called the town of the Brown Trout. So that's where we're heading now. Really, I wish I could turn my camera around actually, but
Can you honk your horn for us?
yes, I will do that. So we've got beacons, lights. We just want to. It's pretty lit up, which is pretty cool. So we're driving a Mack truck, leading it with a Mack truck this morning, and with a 5-axle B train. So it's a pretty heavy unit. Just waiting for the lineup. All right, and we're off.
Rosie's family are all truck drivers.
We're on the road. We're heading to Gore.
Awesome.
Better not do too much while I'm driving. So I'll see you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, bye.
All right, good luck on the road out there. Drive safely, Mark.
Always will do. Thank you.
Thank you for spending time for us today. All right, beautiful. There you go. They're on the move. All right, coolios. There you go. Finally, it's official.
Yeah. So I heard
and of course, you know, they'll be. Direct to that one. There'll be a lot more videos rolling out later on as time goes by. It was the same with last year. There wasn't much live action when it started, but throughout the day, videos just started pouring in, and it started off kind of small, and then it turned into that monster that we saw last year. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so yeah,
right.
I just heard that the Northern Convoy is just on its way as well, and I've just seen a message from they had a little bit of interference by the sounds of it with the police as well up in up in Cape Reinga. Still trying to get details. I'll try and get hold of Gabriel shortly. They've just started on now. They're on the road, so yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's cool. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get some footage uploaded shortly of their what went on up in Cape Reinga and up in the far north as well. So yeah, but interesting times.
Yeah, that's right. That's I found that to be like the most common way last year, was that people were just taking videos and then uploading it to Facebook, and then just correlate it, and you just correlate it and just share to the page, and then you just end up like what I was doing to sharing the videos and stuff. I was using OBS and I was just sharing all these different videos and stuff like that. So all to one broadcast, and yeah, definitely works that way. So yeah, okay, very good. So they're on the road. All right, so it is official. So the chickens have left the hen house, and I'm sure the fox is hiding around the corner somewhere. Ah!
No doubt. So it's my understanding is that the Northern Convoy is actually currently about an hour behind schedule. So we'll see if they can make up some of that time. It is interesting. Right. It's going to be interesting to see how the police handle this, whether they play any silliness. I am due to actually give them a bit of a call and just say, hey, you guys play,
yeah. Well, this whole thing. Let's go back to it for my just.
Yeah. So getting back into that.
A bit laggy there. Yeah, just for clarification. Yeah, just for clarification, for people that don't understand what it was, what happened was the Prime Minister came onto television and declared that they were going to make a convoy illegal because of gang reasons. That was his justification, that it was a gang thing, and that this ban on convoys included things like funerals, local traditional funerals. Like, New Zealand is very much, you probably heard about Hawaii recently. New Zealand is very much like Hawaii. And so the same traditions and all that sort of take place. So, and not only that, it extends out to car clubs, right? So you're not able to convoy along in a car club, and it's ridiculous. But it was all smoke and mirrors, because it was merely a bill that is in proposal stage that is not even cleared. But it was a bit of psychological warfare take place, and people started panicking as if it was a real bill and it was real legislation. It wasn't. And it came out the day after we announced the convoy. Excuse me, I gotta dry my throat.
Yeah,
what happened? You guys went ahead and organized it anyway. And now you're rolling out. Honk, honk.
Oh, this is the thing. We have a government that can't stand to not be in control, can't stand to have people actually say, well, no. But the reality is they are supposed to serve us. These are our lands, not theirs. They are, they are there in our service. That's what the government is supposed to be elected for. If they are a government elected by the people, but we know that's not the case. We know that it's a much more manipulated process, and that the powers that be are put there. And it's not the theatre that is in Parliament that is what's passing legislation. This legislation is being written by foreign agencies, United Nations, the World Economic Forum, and they're rolling the same legislation out with little localizations, and that's it. It's little localizations to suit each nation. It's the same legislation being rolled out, the same agenda, and it's all being rolled out in lockstep around the world as far as they can do it. So, it's not the New Zealand government, it is the United Nations global government that is being essentially rolled out by force, by a corrupt corporation, that is presumed to be and posing as the New Zealand, the government of these lands. They aren't. As I was mentioned before, in their own legislation, they try to deceive us using words like this includes that, when they're actually redefining this. So we need to be aware. We need to be aware of the deception, and actually start having conversations about how we want to be governed. Because you remember, God created man from the dust of the earth. That makes us tangata whenua, from the land. We are sustained from the land.
From the land.
Yeah, man from the land. We are sustained by the land.
Exactly. I'm going to write that in the chat.
We are also Indigenous peoples. All of us. Doesn't matter whether you're European or whether you're Maori or whether you're, a native Indian. It does not matter. We are all Indigenous, and actually really interesting. The United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples was not written by the United Nations. It actually originated from the King of Hawaii. Back in the early 70s. They've been trying to pass that piece of legislation for over 25 years.
Say that again. Say that again. Repeat that again.
The United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples was not written by the United Nations. It originated as an effort between the First Nations peoples around the world, predominantly from Hawaii, from the King of Hawaii.
Now, this is interesting that you bring up Hawaii, because this has been kind of trending at the moment, and I kind of discovered what was going on in Hawaii, and the fire brought a lot of information to light, and that the fact that the Hawaiian people have been struggling in an occupation. In the US has not ratified Hawaii as any state whatsoever, and then they've got government documents to prove that. So again, a part of the corporation. Now, what this means for those who are from abroad is that I think it was like was it the early 80s or the early 90s? The Crown gave over the power of the country to a private corporation with a similar name. They call themselves the Crown Corporation. And since that time, New Zealand has been running as a private corporation. Although, technically speaking, if you go back to the kings and queens and all that, the first corporations were the Templar Knights. So, I mean, they're already a part of a Crown Corporation. But this is a different kind of Crown Corporation. This is corporation which is registered in the United States, and so technically we technically belong in the United States territory, essentially. So this is the way, and so this is what's happened in Hawaii is now from this line of fire. I mean, although people were already working on this, but it's just becoming more popular and more prominently known because the fire has just made a spotlight on Lahaina. And the whole thing with the land and the territory and all that. And they're really similar. Like the fire of Lahaina is kind of like the opposite of the flood in Hawke's Bay. But I think the damage is just as equal. It's either baptism by fire or baptism by water. In this case, they were both baptized with fire and water. And the damage was the same. And they're pushing the same agendas through. This is the smart cities and all that kind of stuff.
Same thing happening in Canada with all the fires that we had this year, and of course they're blaming it on climate change.
Yeah, it's just a dirty land grab by the governments. They want to corporatize the land. it's nothing more than that. They want to corporatize the land. They want to take us off the land. They want to lock us up in their smart cities with their social credit systems and their central bank digital currencies, where they can tell us what we can eat, where we going to live, and there's tiny little high density housing, basically boxes with no cars, no way, nothing but public transport which they control, and we will eventually be in a situation where, unless we say the right thing and do the right things and behave in a way that they accept and that they want us to, we will be punished. We will be punished by being denied the ability to have meat once a month. We will be punished by by having our movements restricted. In China with their social credit system, they literally said, you will not be able to move 1 foot without approval from the government. And that's what the agenda is. It's about control. It's about enslaving humanity by a tiny, powerful elite. But it only works if they can get people to comply. And this is where, with things like the convoy legislation, it's like we are private travellers on our lands, not yours. Corporation can't own land; they can only own title. So they push people off the lands, and they create their fiction titles, their paperwork. It's all deception. It doesn't. They don't take the land away. They don't move the land. All they do is create a title, and then they divide up that title, and sort of then say, "Well, we have title. We have this bit of paper that says that that we are the ones in control of that land now." But they stole it. We know now more about what happened with Parliament. By the way, the New Zealand Parliament, did you realise that it was sold in 2001? That entire parliamentary precinct was sold in November 2001. I've got the land transfer document. I've got it. I can share it with you. You can try it up there. So they can't hear you, Jason. You're muted.
Can't hear you.
No.
Still can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh, well, Jason's trying to get going. But yeah, so the land, the parliamentary precinct, the title was passed from the Crown to a property investment company, and it's changed hands about 3 times since then. It's currently, I believe, owned by Macquarie Investments Limited, which is an Australian company, funnily enough. What does that mean for us? Especially given the fact that we know that many of the people from the hapu that was on that land at the time, when was it 300 or 600 soldiers pushed them off, and then declared that land was taken. They had a few from the tribe, from the local hapu at the time, from the settlement that was there, that eventually were convinced to sign away their ownership. But again, and I'm not the best person to talk to about how how land was seen. But my understanding is that more or less that Māori saw that they didn't own the land. In essence, it was the opposite. The land owned them. They were there on the land. They were there to look after the land for the future generations.
Jason, there's a question here. Is anyone live streaming from a vehicle? I think yes, but the North Island, their internet connection is pretty bad, from what I understand. Is your volume?
Yeah, waiting for them to get into a better zone. I think probably. What time are they arriving? Let me check. What time are they arriving in today? Now, Kensington Park from here. That's the next.
You're breaking up a lot, Jason.
So until we've got some footage, I'm trying to keep track of what's going on in our various groups on Telegram and the private messaging via Signal. And we'll see. Hopefully we'll see some footage from the Northern Convoy soon. And have somebody live streaming from there. But in the meantime, so when we were occupying Parliament grounds, we were occupying lands which had originally been stolen from the Maori that were there. They were pushed off by force. That land was then occupied. Later sold. We've actually got chain of titles going back to about well into the 1800s. And it creates an interesting question. What is the foundation for our nation? Is it all deception? Sort of the most legitimate treaty, was appears to have been He Whakaputanga. Sort of. But again, what is the meaning of that? We need to have discussions, and I think that's we need to actually start come together as peoples, not persons, because you see here again, persons. Legislation Act 2019 defines persons. Person includes corporation sole, body corporate, or unincorporated body. What does that have to do with man? And by man, I'm not talking about male. I'm talking about man as in a species. Mankind, as it is written in the Bible. And that includes man with the womb, the woman. So,
So sorry. Hey, Jason, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. We'll be going live again later on, right? At least I think that was the plan.
Yes, I'm just. I was just checking the schedule, and I just noticed that. Yes, I was just. But I tell you, every time I try to actually do something, the internet gets up here, and I work online every day, and I normally don't enter my internet. But
oh wow.
Yeah.
This is from last year. This looks like stop 3.
Is it going to be all choppy like the other video?
I believe this is Friday.
Because it's all like, yeah, it's not even buffering right now.
Yeah. My suggestion.
We're going to be on this roundabout.
So while we wait for that, just a reminder to everyone.
Yeah, close up.
Yeah, go check out the Facebook page. That's where we'll be posting all of the live streams and videos that people, photos and everything. We will be sharing it to the Revolution Convoy 2023 Facebook page. So if you want to go and join up and take a look, that's where we'll be posting all the up-to-date, and that's also where you can find the itinerary. So if you can't be a part of the convoy in New Zealand, there is an itinerary, give or take the time a little bit because they had a slow start. But if you want to go out and get your signs and your flags out and support them on the road, I'm not too sure how. I know some people were already getting ready with donations to kind of send it along so people can snack and everything. Everybody's trying to do what they can. So if you want to go check out this page on Facebook, we will be updating and people will be posting from the convoy itself.
No, there's no donations. We're not asking donations. The best thing that people can do is they can offer food.
Yeah,
no, there's too much drama with that.
We're not talking about monetary donations. Just snacks for the road. You know, bottles of water.
Snacks.
Oh yes.
Yeah, just stuff to sustain the body, not the wallet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are little bits and pieces that have come through. My suggestion is that any media probably if there's somewhere we can put media links up for you to be able to stream, Rosie.
Sorry?
Is there anywhere we
stream
we can send you?
Yeah, stream remotely.
So you can stream them rather than Jason, because Jason's connection seems to be pretty terrible at the moment, but yours seems to be pretty stable. I don't know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if somebody wants to, because you're in the country and wants to manage the internet, and I am on a wireless, I am in a hotel. Yeah, I am on a wireless Wi-Fi connection, and I am in a hotel here in Cambodia. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, for sure, you can always screen share if you have anything there. You can screen share it. Otherwise, we can let them roll and get some aggregate bits and pieces in a few hours and wait till the videos pop up, and then we can just do a whole bunch of them and show them all at the same time. Yeah, that's probably the best way to go. What do you think?
So we should kind of wrap it up now, because we'll be doing more of these. And I think if we kind of just keep them, I mean, 2 hours isn't short, you know, but we'll do, you know, less is more, and too much of a good thing in the end, you know, just, yeah. So we'll start wrapping it up now. Daniel, I want to thank you so much for jumping up on the panel.
You're most welcome. And yeah, I'm
Awesome.
due to
thanks, brother.
have a ring up and have a bit of a conversation with our policy enforcement, and just to remind them that sort of there's no they've got no business impeding people travelling privately on these lands, in convoy or individually, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's right. You're the police liaison. That's right. You're police liaison. That's right. Yeah. You're this year's police liaison. That's
okay.
Right.
Well, it's a good start.
Because
good start to a big day.
It's done.
Thank you, Daniel, for being the police liaison.
I'll let you
keep
know
in touch. I'll see you in the signal chat, though.
Yes, absolutely. It has been done.
Cool.
All right. I'll backstage you. Thank you so much, Daniel. We'll see you soon. All right. Okay. So we're going to wrap it up now. I've been
all right. So let's do a wrap, shall we?
Yeah, I've been on top of the comments, so everybody, hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but I've been trying to acknowledge everyone who's been commenting, except I didn't mention Jeff. Jeff, it is so nice, Kia ora. So nice to see you here, Jeff. And it's an exciting time, and I can't wait to see.
Oh, Jeff, he's there.
Yep, Jeff is in the chat. Jeff is, yeah, I'm still waiting for my United Tribes flag. Just saying. But, oh, hang on.
Oh, yeah, Jeff coming up in the other one. The Wanganui, yeah, he's joining there into the convoy. Yeah, that's right. That and the bus. Oh, right. The guy who I just showed you. Right. Okay. So many of them now. So they're popping up now. So it'll be interesting to see. And it's going to be a great day anyway. It'll be interesting to see if the videos pop up in that. So we'll do a special later on. We'll aggregate them all and we'll just roll through it.
Don't forget to hit the like button.
With people driving, they're in and out. Yeah, they're in and out with the connections and all that, the driving. So yeah. All right.
Yep. So it's an exciting day, and don't forget to follow that Facebook page. We'll keep it up to date with, and that's where people will be posting videos and photos. And again, I've said it a couple of times now, if you can't actually join the convoy, you're in New Zealand, there is the itinerary posted on that Facebook page. And if you wanted to show your support, go out, wave your flags, and cheer the convoy on. It's always a great time to meet new people, meet like-minded people, and just spread the love, right? So, on that note, Jason, do you want to line up our outro? And we'll get back together again in a couple of hours here. So, yeah, honk honk. You got it, Jason? You want to line it up, or should I? Thank you, everyone who's been here. Thank you, Jason, again. You're
alrighty.
Co-host with most. I appreciate you. And yeah, I hope everybody has an awesome day, afternoon, evening.
I had the most instant connection. Can you?
Oh, can't hear you now. Okay, I'll just go ahead with it, right? And then, yeah, so thanks, Jason. I got to find it first. It's down here.
Yeah, you hit it.
All right, here we go. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Uh-huh.